open score, but still cash in for 7 nonetheless.
Guys, do we have a quarterback controversy on our hands?
We do not. Nope.
How about Colt McCoy, though? Coming out, leading this offense, it feels like they were successful on a few drives. There wasn't too many self-inflicted errors, not a whole lot of penalties, just 2 of them. But that defense, the good thing was that they kept this Rams offense right where they were the previous couple weeks and struggling. That was the key to the success of this offense, or this successful first half.
Bo, I really like the total team play. We saw Greg Dortch with some nice punt returns. Then everything that they did seemed to be positive. There wasn't any sense of urgency or distress what we've seen from this offense in weeks past. And as you mentioned, Bo, that defense with Myjai Sanders making plays as well as Zaven Collins, I mean, that the young talent's definitely stepping up today.
Efficiency is what's I'm loving it. The way Coach getting the ball out, the way the guys are catching. Of course, we have a couple of drop balls, but outside of that, I mean, you're watching the offense just be efficient. There's a couple of different wrinkles that they've been throwing in there. I like that, but the no mistakes that the offense has happened. What we've seen in the past. This just look efficient, and I'm happy with what we're seeing right now because it does draw a little bit of controversy because you're seeing one guy come out and be very effective and efficient in offense, and then the last couple of weeks, are we running the same plays, or was the guy not making those plays last week like Coach doing?
Bootlegs.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks good, and I'm happy for what we're seeing with our offense right now. Of course, these are not our starters, and that's not that they don't have all their starters, but to watch your offense be effective in the first half has been pretty exciting.
You got to play the game in the cards that are dealt to you. Myjai Sanders, $1.99 super chat from our guy Garvey Craigs. Sanders looks great. I've been seeing this game, and absolutely, Cards linebacking core, the youth of this team defensively. Zaven Collins almost a pick. Isaiah Simmons, Cameron Thomas in the backfield. That's the future of this team defensively. It's great to see them push around a Rams front, albeit not fully 100%, Bo. But how many times we've talked about Vance Joseph kind of taking it, Sean McVay taking it to Vance Joseph. It's great to see the flip side. And I get it. The Rams have been struggling all season, but so have the Cardinals. And it always feels like the Rams come to Arizona or they go to L.A. And it's a get-right game. And this time, 17-3, it feels like, knock on wood, it feels like 40-3 right now.
Yeah, give credit to where it's due. And Vance Joseph, after the first drive where the Rams offense was able to move the ball, they got some key third downs, they were able to put points on the board. Ever since then, they've been dead silent. And you haven't seen John Wolford turn into a quarterback or given the opportunity to be a quarterback that he's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't a guy that he's an AAF quarterback and he looks like such. And this Rams offense isn't even able to get to their playmakers. Guys like Cooper Kupp are bottled up. You're not seeing much from him. They can't get the run game going. It's the same Rams offense that's been struggling all season long, and they're not getting right. And a credit to VJ and this defense and the players stepping up.
Well, Saul Bookman in the chat, we realize the Rams are awful and Woodford is their QB. Well, here's the thing, Saul, and we get it. Colt's been good, but this was an easy win on paper. I don't know about that. I watched this Cardinal team in Week 17 a couple of years ago lose to John Wolford and company. Different dynamic, different situation, but I do think the difference is Colt McCoy. Chris Streveler started that game and was horrific. He was unwatchable. Now you think about, even with the loss of Zach Ertz, we don't want to speculate, knee injury, MRI, whether it's a torn ACL, whether it's a sprain, hope for the latter. Colt McCoy, no mistakes, efficient, keeping the offense, Bo, we were watching it, moving forward. There were minimal penalties, and I just feel like whether it's Cliff or McCoy together, this offense is more in sync than what we've seen in years prior. I'm not at all saying that McCoy is the answer or better than Kyler Murray. That would be ludicrous. But it almost feels like Cliff can take a lesson from what he's doing with McCoy today and implement that on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that Colt McCoy just does a really good job in distributing the football where Colt McCoy knows he's not a playmaker. Kyler Murray is a playmaker himself, so him keeping the football or distributing or trying to make the big play sometimes gets in the way maybe of just taking the play that's necessary, maybe move the chains. And Colt McCoy, his success is based on that. The first drive, he dumped the ball off to 5 different Cardinals. In the first drive alone, he's distributing it well, Frank. When you've played with guys who are backups, and the good backups, guys that would come in, what was it? I'm sure at the beginning there was probably a more focused group. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, you're not wrong. But I think that the guy he's not as worked over throughout the season. He's coming in with fresh eyes, a fresh arm, and he's just taking what they're giving him. What he sees, what he's practiced, is exactly what he's taking what the defense is giving him. Kyler can come up and then what he'll see in a defense, Colt might not see in a defense. Colt sees a basic standard guy standing around. When Kyler's there, because he can run and move about, they have a 9 and a 10 technique. They're wider. The guys in the backfield are moving around a little bit more, making adjustments to offset them. Again, Colt's been effective every time he's come in, and you can't be. No one's mad at that. I'm excited to see what the guys are doing. A backup quarterback, a voice that changes the narrative. But again, just being effective. You can see the difference on both sides. They have backups quarterbacking as well. They're just not as effective as Colt is right now, and I think that's it's allowing Cliff to get to that second and third play in his progression when he's calling plays, and so he can ad-lib a little bit more because now he's in those. We're keeping the drive going. So 3 for 8 on third down, two 4th and 1s, and they actually converted it. I thought that was pretty exciting. I am saying kick the field goal, but then Johnny and his crew here arguing, go for it. Look,
3 and 6, man, you got nothing to lose, and you lose this game, your season essentially is lost. And you got to win by touchdowns. I don't think this game is going to be won by field goals. The Cardinals have 2 touchdowns, and I think that's sizable for a reason. The Rams have not been able to convert. When the Cardinals are in the red zone, they have to score touchdowns. I do not think, for as good as Vance's defense has been, we saw at the end of the first half, they gave up some chunk plays. We assume Sean McVay is gonna figure some things out. But Adam H in the chat saying good for AJ Green. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the resurgence of number 18, what he did on 4th down, the catch in the end zone. Cali Kid saying AJ Green balling like Frank Sanders back in the day.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that. I don't know if you watch my man.
Just give him the ball. He can make plays, bro.
That's 2 huge plays.
That's all I say. Give
one
me the ball.
On 4th down, one fade that hasn't
y'all
worked
funny. Y'all changed up real quick. Y'all hated it. Y'all were talking mad. I mean, he just wasn't playing. And I think when you have to go back a little bit, I think when you have a backup quarterback, Colt McCoy seems prepared. He seems like nothing the defense has given him he wasn't prepared for. He has confidence. I mean, we've seen a variety of offense, and we've seen quick releases. Given that offensive line, 4 out of the 5 starters are replacements. The fact that the Arizona Cardinals are winning at halftime, and the fact that this is the NFL and they got backups, we got backups. This is a game of luck and attrition, and the Cardinals are up by 2 touchdowns. That's in a good place.
Guess who's having a great half? Antonio Hamilton, 3 catches, -1 yard for Cooper Kupp. And I get it. It's Cooper Kupp with John Wolford, but still, Cooper Kupp largely a top 1 to 2 to 3 receiver in the NFL, Bo. I can't say enough about 33. He was on the shelf to begin the season. He's come back. No Byron Murphy today, but we get Antonio Hamilton playing great football.
Yeah, you do. You've got an entire defense that's playing. They're flying around the football. They're creating negative plays. They're keeping the Rams in third and not manageable, 3rd and long, and that's huge for this defense. They create the turnover right before half. This looks like the Cardinals team that won 2 of 3 with Colt McCoy starting.
Yeah.
The team that started it off 7-0. This was the blueprint right here. Come out, play some defense, get the ball into your offense's hands, create a turnover, win the takeaway battle, right? And then go into the locker room, as they said at the end of the half on the broadcast, you're pretty much getting a 3 for 1. I mean, they're getting the ball at half. It's a freaking shame that the whistle came. It was an errant whistle, had no business after the Najee Sanders strip sack there. Maybe a little home cooking, but that would have been huge. But regardless, they kick it in for 6, and they go into halftime with a big lead.
Cards lead the NFL in defensive touchdowns. Almost had one more before the half. I don't think we've seen the last of the Rams turning the ball over, as we see them potentially becoming one-dimensional in the second half en route to trying to overcome this 14-point lead against the Arizona Cardinals. A reminder, we will be back here immediately following the conclusion of Cardinals at Rams. We want to see you there after the game. Bye, everybody.